where's your car?
I don't have a car. I have a ship.
Hey, I'm back. And I watched a TUBI movie. It's called Vampire Genesis, and it is a long time of absolute thing. It's an hour and 40-some minutes long. I think almost an hour and 50 minutes long. And there's no... I don't know what the fuck it was about. I'm going to try my best to recap it, but there was a lot, but also not anything happening. You'll catch on to what I mean. The movie starts with this girl calling a priest. One of these days, I'm gonna learn what these religious figures are meant to be. She's calling him father, and he's at the church. And she's like, I had a nightmare, can I come over? He's like, yeah, come on over. I also want to complain really quick about the audio in this movie, because the very beginning of it is incredibly quiet. So I turned it up full blast. And then after, the first, 10-15 minutes, it's blaring. Now that I've gotten that cleared up, the girl is basically telling him, hey, I want to come, but also I'm scared because of this cemetery. And then she walks through this cemetery, those places that sell headstones, and they just have, the little demo tombstones out in front. It's one of those, I think, because some of them are straight up blank. I mean, this clearly isn't a cemetery. It's not real. She's walking through that cemetery anyways, and she starts hearing some stuff, and she's freaking out, and then some shit's running around behind her. It's real freaky. She makes it to the church, though, and she goes into the guy's office, I guess, and she's like, can I go to the bathroom, father? And he's like, yeah, why the hell would you ask me to go to the bathroom? Yes. Look at her hair. She takes her hair down, she's freshening up, and then 5 seconds later, her hair is magically done. First off, that's what? Second, she's putting on makeup and everything. Is she trying to get with this priest? She goes back into his office, and there's this dragon statue from Home Depot or some shit on his desk, and she's like, meh, I didn't know you liked dragons. Who doesn't like dragons?
Just a little indulgence of mine, collecting artifacts.
Okay, but then they start talking about the dream she said she had, and I guess this has been a reoccurring topic for them, because he's like, yeah, give me all those details and catch me up. These dreams that she's having, she's seeing some woman that's talking to her, and it's seeming like she is an important person for whatever reason. She's supposed to be doing something in these dreams.
And she keeps saying she has a message from me.
Go on.
Breath was hot in my face.
This is a message, Karen.
Okay, this dude's voice turns demonic for a second there. He just starts talking like this, and she's not tripped up whatsoever. She just carries on the conversation as if that's not fucking weird. The movie peaks right here.
An old man.
It is. But what could it mean?
He's got these press-on nails with flames on them that show up, and then his hair gets really long. She really didn't react until he lunged at her. For the next bit of it, the guy, you really can't understand him. And that's not repaired throughout the movie, but for at least this part, they have subtitles for him, and he's just talking about how he's a demon, I guess.
You are the first seer and your dreamer, and the foretelling of the alien savior. Confess your dreams.
Her dreams are foretelling the return of the alien savior or whatever. Some about her dreams is bad for him. I don't know. It was really hard to understand even with the subtitles. He's beating her up, and these two other people show up, and they're growling.
Queen Akadama! Kessa! You here?
And this is where I'm starting to talk about everything is really hard to understand in this movie, because all of the vampires have this edit to their voice, and it's on top of their regular voice, but it makes it incredibly fucking hard to understand what they're saying, and they don't give anybody else subtitles. Sometimes it's fine, other times I genuinely have no idea what people are saying. And I don't know if that's important to the plot or not because I couldn't understand him. Okay, so they have that classic vampire speed. The girl cuts the devil guy's head off. I don't know, he was doing her dirty or something. Gore warning. I don't know why this next bit is crunchy.
In eternal death, for your sin of disobedience.
He had a daywalker necklace on so that he could walk around in the daytime. But that guy wasn't a vampire, I don't think. So I don't know what that was about. Because all the other creatures can go out in the sun, I think. They're kind of all over the place. I'm going to make some assumptions about this next bit, but they never come out and say this. I think when she's drinking this girl's blood, that she can see things about her, but at the least part, the dream that she had just been talking about with the priest earlier, or the devil, whatever you want to call him. So they show this girl, she comes back later and she has a completely different hairstyle, okay? And they show her like superimposed on this highway or something. This doesn't happen. They make it seem like this is something that'll happen later on. That doesn't happen, okay? And then they cut to some other dude just doing some moves in the middle of a forest by himself. He's really kicking up some dirt, though. I totally forgot about the fireballs. That's so good. Then we got this other dude with the laser. I'm gonna remind you, this is just, she's still just drinking that girl's blood and she's seeing all this stuff. Because then there's some girl in hell, maybe, and she's just touching the ground. And then lastly, we see some other woman is standing in front of a mirror looking at herself.
Huh?
The vampire is like, alright, take care of this and I'm gonna go. For some reason, the dude that she's with grabs the dragon from the desk that you know was talk of the town earlier. Then he goes to go kill the girl in the chair, but then doesn't. He picks her up. They also set the church on fire. This is just the start of the special effects. It's really intense. Then there's a time jump. It's 20 years later now. We have this like outer space sequence. They're at, what the fuck even is this? Mothership Amman. They're on the mothership. I don't know what to tell you. So we have who I assume is the woman in charge sitting on this little chase lounge, and she has two women doting over her, and she's just being a total ass about it.
None is higher than you.
Yes, blasphemy. And so on and so forth.
She also has her voice edited like that, and again, it's really hard to understand. At some points, I'm not sure if you're meant to understand, because we have this guy that cannot close his mouth. I suspect that maybe he can't close it because of the fangs that they put into his mouth, and he just couldn't get his mouth to close, but he's sitting there mouth breathing the entire scene. And he's boop, 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 boop. He's calling Empress, I believe they call her.
Captain Everywall, why am I being disturbed?
She's like, what the fuck do you want? And he's telling her that a slave escaped and some other people tried to help, but one of the alien slaves got to Earth.
But a harem slave has stolen the force sphere escape pod and eluded our fighters.
She's telling him what to do, and first off, she's for some reason she turns around and becomes very muffled. Alright? But then also it starts like blurring.
Well, obviously, we can't pursue her into the atmosphere. Radio the Scimitar patrolling the solar system. That cruiser has a hunter with Terran Jin.
And he's still just standing there with his mouth wide open. But basically, this whole conversation ends with her being like, yeah, send some people to go get her.
What are you waiting for?
And then it shows that escaped alien from earlier crashing to the Earth. I don't think that I can fully show this, but just know she's like nude. She's actually naked. And everything's just painted over. she morphs into like a human. She gets a disguise. She's looking human now. Remember, this is the girl from earlier that was staring at herself in the mirror in that dream. Here are these two dudes that they're going to send to Earth to go get this girl back, the alien.
I thought you were cutting off your hair. I'm not. I'm getting war brains.
You may enter.
I guess this is their disguises. But there's another guy that's on Earth looking for her, and he's getting dropped off by this other spaceship. They don't explain who this is. When I was watching it, I thought that was the guy that the Empress was sending, but it's not. It's one of those things that I just never picked up on throughout the whole movie. So they show the alien girl is sitting in a parking garage for some reason, shivering. She could manifest all those clothes in that whole fit, but she can't manifest herself a sweater, so she's freezing.
Come here.
Some other girl sees her, and the alien doesn't say anything to her, but for some reason she's like, "You're not gonna ask me for money?"
So you're not gonna ask me for any money? I don't give people money.
What do you want, even though I'm the one bothering you? Who asked? But for some reason, she's like, "Let's go get some food," because I'm assuming you're hungry. She doesn't even look homeless, is the thing. She doesn't look like she looks like she dressed poorly for the weather. That's what it looks like. So, whatever, they go to eat. And then they show the guy that came down from this spaceship. I'm gonna call him Alien with the Face Tattoo. They show him walking around wreaking havoc on the town. He's a menace.
Man, what's your problem?
Let him go! Let him go!
He's got loose little feet dangling. He goes into some bar and he starts assaulting people. I don't know why, but one of the women that was performing in a band walks up and she's like, "Oh my God, stop! He's my guy. I'm here with him. He's just don't mind him. We're gonna leave." She doesn't know this guy. I'm gonna add, she just saw him assault a woman, and she's like, "Yeah, that's my type. I want this guy." So she's like, "Let's go back to my place."
Baby, what I tell you about joking around? Apologize, babe. I can tell you like to play rough.
Yes. Rough.
We go back to the escaped alien, and the woman that was like, I don't know, reaming her for not panhandling is like, I shouldn't do this, but why don't you come back to my place? So they're just pals now. I don't know. She just like it feels like she abducted a grown woman.
Where are you from?
We're jumping all over the place. That vampire woman from the very beginning of the movie that cut off the demon's head and all that, she's like stalking this child.
Quit it! Mommy, Kevin kicked me!
His mother is vacuuming with the door open for some reason, and he's just being a piece of shit. And the kid walks off. You'll see the kid later on, but spoiler, she abducts the kid and turns him into like a little baby vampire. It's weird. They show her when she was, on the mothership that we were talking about earlier, and she's sitting here with this kid that, he looks like a corpse. I don't know, she's neglecting that child as well, but I guess she left a son behind up on the mothership, and she's got like a void in her heart because her real son is gone. So that's why she's kidnapping somebody and let's be real, she's killing that kid. Done with that. We're back to the alien with the face tattoo, and he's at that girl's house, and his name's Rakeem, but I'm still gonna keep calling him the alien with the eye tattoo.
What's your name?
Rakeem.
Rakeem?
Close enough.
And dude, I guess he's hungry as fuck. He eats her. He eats her. She's dead. I wish I could show more of that scene because it was so just absolutely goofy. But I can't. We're done with that. We're jumping on to another character, alright? It's a different girl from the dream from earlier with the different hair that I was talking about, and she's a cop. Her name is Jessica.
Where's my lawyer?
And it's one of the very few characters that I learned their name. And she's a badass cop, okay? She's beating up this dude, and she's really hardcore. Her boss is like, come talk to me, and assigns her a new partner.
Who's he?
It's a new partner, Larry Fisher.
And is basically assigning her to these weird alien sightings that are happening. She ends up taking her new partner and going to her daughter's house. Like, she's got a kid and she lives with her dad. So she goes to visit her child in the middle of the workday with her new partner. And she's like, hey, I'm sorry, I know it's your birthday, but I'm a deadbeat and I'm not going to be available. Sorry. And her kid's just pissed.
It would be nice if for once you would put me ahead of other people.
Can go walk over to Grandpa's Kung Fu school.
Jessica very low-key mentions that her dad has a Kung Fu school down the street. It's real natural. They show eye tattoo guy again. He's just lurking around. They show him conjures up a truck.
I need a ride.
Specify car, truck, SUV.
Display truck.
Just in case you see him with a truck later, that happened. The escaped alien crashed to Earth earlier. She did so in this man's backyard, and he's just straight up chilling. What's that monkey doing? So obviously the cop Jessica and her partner go to this guy's house to see what's up because he had reported that there was an alien crash there. This dude's daughter walks out with him because he brought out like a fucking shotgun, and she's talking like this for some reason.
He does have a point though. Let me see your badges.
They're interviewing this guy to be like, hey, what was that about? But they just think that he's some kooky old man.
She was naked.
What? Daddy told me he saw
I can speak for myself. She was a naked alien.
The two of them go outside to like investigate like the actual crash site, and they're like, this is odd, but there is bare footprints leading into the woods. So we have some overlap here. Jessica's walking around in the parking lot, and she's seen some weird shit. Like, she's seen evil looking people, and the face tattoo alien is just like stalking her, like sitting around watching her. I don't know why, I don't know where he caught on to the fact that something's off about this girl, but he's watching her. That vampire from earlier that kidnapped that kid and all that other stuff, I guess she's a queen of some sort, and also is in Scotland, UK. This is the US Embassy compound, trust me. The president is there.
That I cannot do.
I think this is meant to be the president of the United States. This is where it started to blow my mind. I guess she has some sort of political power. She's controlling the US government.
What is the status on submitting the Citizens Unified legislation?
What's up with that freaking healthcare bill? What the fuck? They're arguing, and she's getting mad at the president. So she rips the heart out of one guy and starts like... Truthfully, they don't look scared. He looks more disgusted than anything else. But I guess she got her point across because they're like, yeah, my bad. I think it's time we head out. But while they're leaving, these three other guys come in. One of them's the vampire from the very beginning. And then the other two are like... So what I'm gathering here is they have powers. So they're telling her, we found this old guy that we think has other like special powers, but like just like a human guy that lives here. And they show this guy with his balls getting rocked. And these are the two aliens from the mothership that were sent down to like look for that rogue alien. And I don't know why they're trying to mug this guy. They try to shoot him, and I guess what they were talking about, the old man has these powers so he can stop the bullets in the air, and he's just beating him up. Guy tries to shoot him, and when it doesn't work, he just calmly walks away. Alright, we're back to the queen, and they're doing like a heavy lore dump as to how like this shit works. But basically, this girl's like one of the original vampires, and that's why she's the queen of everything going on here. And she's talking about like the dynamics of how and when you can change people and all that shit, and why those other dudes had special powers. But like, personally, I don't care. Part of this, though, she's explaining that guy, that old man, can stop bullets, but if it comes, that's because it's like a modern weapon. But if somebody were to shoot him with like an arrow or something, then he would be fucked. It doesn't really make any sense to me, but those are the rules that they're setting. Jessica is at the kung fu school with her daughter, and her father is that guy that could stop bullets. Surprise! The rogue alien girl is like, I sense a disturbance in the force. I need to go check this out.
I must find the Earth Daughter.
So whatever, her and that random woman she's living with is like, alright, let's go. Jessica's talking to her dad about these weird powers that she has, and he's like, so you gotta activate your powers by completely submerging yourself underwater, including your head. And I find it very hard to believe, at her age, she's never been fully submerged in water.
Taking a bath lately? Your grandmother activated her gift by submerging her whole body, even her face.
Have you never gone swimming? I don't know. But she's got some powers and she just doesn't really know how to use them. Jessica and her kid leave, and immediately those three guys from earlier break into the kung fu school and start beating the shit out of this old man. And Jessica and her kid are walking back home down because, you know, she lives like a block away from the kung fu school. And they're walking and the kid's like, something's wrong. So she's like, okay, keep going home and I'm gonna go back. Jessica goes back to the school because her kid sensed something was wrong. And the kid goes home to her dad and she's like, something, I felt like something was wrong. So mom went back and I'm scared. Everyone's taking this incredibly serious because the dad just immediately goes and gets a gun. I don't know. I feel like if some kid told me like they just felt like something was wrong, I'd be like, everything's fine, shut the hell up. The assistant vampire man is just watching his little dudes beat up this old guy. And it's just ridiculous. And he keeps taking away all of like the weapons that the guy picks up. But it's like, how is this fair? Why can your guys just like manifest knives out of their palms, but he can't use some nunchucks?
I'm gonna bust you up, you old son of a...
Unfortunately, the dad gets hit with a bunch of those ninja stars. And he's down for the count. Jessica gets there. She does not stand a chance against those guys, obviously. So she's just weeping over her dad, and he's slowly dying. But the escaped alien shows up at this time, starts doing like lightning to them, and they run off. Face tattoo guy shows up, and he looks inside, sees that hell's breaking loose, and he's like, meh, and leaves. When the escaped alien is zapping him, they show some other woman also like getting zapped in her other world. I don't know. And she wakes up. The girl that the rogue alien has been living with, her name's Wendy, and she walked in and the vampire man bit her and just spit some of her blood into like a vial. I don't know why. We're over half of the way through this movie at this point, and I just feel like I'm saying a lot of stuff And I still have like barely any explanation as to what is happening. So the 3 guys that were beating up the old man leave, and then the dad is like, oh my god, there's too many characters! The dad is like, Hope, the child is in danger, then he dies. All of them run back to Hope's house. I was really starting to like just sink down. I was getting comfy. They hear a scream upstairs, but they take their damn sweet time going up there. And there's a demon up there. But don't worry about it too much, because Hope just stomps on his foot and he lets her go. And then the rest of them bust in there. The escaped alien starts zapping him again as she does. This is another one of those situations where I can't really understand what the fuck this guy is saying.
The puny child cannot learn to assist her.
He's drooling so much. I don't even know what to say about this, but the guy was attacking the kid for some reason. Rogue alien kills the demon, and then they just go about their day. And then they cut to this child and her mother looking at a rock, and it's some man's face in the ground, okay?
Let's look at some other stuff. It's almost time to go.
But then it just turns into a dude all of a sudden.
Mom, he opened his eyes.
Girl, come on, let's go.
This shit looks like a Snapchat filter, like the eyes are just put over it. I guess this guy is associated with that woman that woke up from the zapping earlier. I think she's the Earth Mother. They show the bite marks that Wendy obtained earlier, but it's just straight up like marker on her skin. She's covering it up with makeup. That's why you don't ever see it ever again. So back at Hope's house, Jessica called her boss over because they got that dead demon upstairs. And also her dad was murdered. So she's like, can you come over? Because like shit kind of went haywire over here. They go check it out and he's like, hey, what the fuck? But they're like, you gotta just listen, hear me out. She explains to them all basically that she's there because there had been a war a long time ago and the aliens got like the vampire aliens or whatever they are lost badly, and the Earth Mother that's protecting the Earth, she's like missing somewhere. She's got a spell keeping her asleep. So that is that woman that they keep showing that woke up. And this escaped alien is looking for her so that she can save her people. To be able to find where the Earth Mother is, they need Jessica or Hope's powers to be able to get her, or both of them, or something, some shit, whatever. But Jessica's like, I can't immerse myself underwater, I'm too scared.
And I can travel to a place I can sense but not know.
They're talking about how the grandpa died at some point, and the kid just...
And he died in a failed robbery attempt. I'll put the real culprits to justice.
Okay, Wendy, the girl that was bit by that vampire earlier, she has a dream that she's a vampire and attacks the alien girl that's staying with her. It's a dream. I don't know really what that's about. Maybe she's turning into a vampire. I don't really know. But then the guy that bit her, that other vampire guy, they show him doing some science. And he is making a Daywalker necklace for himself. He's got some beef with the queen vampire. She had turned him, but that he's like not into it. He's like, I don't like this. And that girl from the very beginning of the movie, he never killed her. He made her like somewhat immortal somehow. Him, that girl from the very beginning of the movie, and this other woman that's been like one of the queen's like extra little people are like trying to go against her. So he's like doing little experiments to try to make a weapon to be able to kill her. They show the queen like hooking up with some dude, but really she's just there to eat him as well. Just like that guy from earlier. Remember the guy with the face tattoo? He ate that woman. That's what she does as well. I don't know if that means anything.
Come on, baby. Just let me stick it in.
When she's done doing that, she gets butt-ass naked and then turns into a bunch of bats and flies away. Alright, this is the final scene. Jesus Christ. The escaped alien, Jessica, and Wendy, the girl that was bit by the vampire, are all just wandering around the forest. In the middle of this forest, they find this abandoned car, and Wendy's like, I have to go pee. So she walks away, and that guy with the face tattoo, I guess he can make himself invisible, right? So he goes invisible and then shows up, and Wendy falls over, freaked out, and hits her head on a rock and knocks out. So she's unconscious for a little bit. This girl can't catch a break. Those 3 guys from earlier, the vampire man, and the 2 mutant guys with the special powers are also here in the forest. So they start fighting. Wendy wakes up after her head got bashed on that rock, and the vampire dude comes over and bites her again and spits out her blood again. What is she even here? Leave her alone. So they're fighting, but then that guy from the ground shows up, and he's the one with the fireballs. So it's all coming together from earlier. So the 3 evil dudes are overwhelmed, and they're like, we gotta get out of here right now, and they run away.
Another time.
That's the end of the movie. I did not know that this was going to be a series. It came out in 2024, and judging by the amount of special effects they use and like the low budgetness of it all, it's probably going to be a while before the next one comes out. It was a really long movie with not anything really happening. I feared this did not need to be more than one movie. I don't think I fully understand what happened in this movie. I'm going to blame it on a few things. One of those things I think is because I couldn't understand what people were saying. It was a lot of information that they just straight up spoke out, right? I think another part of it might be that they were making some stuff a mystery because there's going to be another part to it. I'm assuming there's another part to it. I'm sure that was extremely confusing to you, but it was also extremely confusing to me. I promise. I don't even know what to say about this. At some point I got like concerned because I knew I wasn't understanding what was happening, and this is a thought that I'm gonna have to summarize this more or less, and I have no idea what I'm watching. It was intense. I liked it. I think I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Bye.